What's going on, everybody? Here doing a quick defensive breakdown on Mumbo versus OG from Mumbo's perspective. Just gonna go through, highlight some things from what I see. Maybe you might learn something new. Maybe you might just be like, waste of time. Whatever you do, just leave a comment. Let me know if you liked it, if you learned anything, or if there's something we should add. So, as we get into this, just keep that in mind. Trying something new, trying to keep you guys engaged with the league, and appreciate everything you guys are done. Keep getting your games in, and let's get into it. Coming out in the two tight ends set, Mumbo appears to be in 3 Fort Grizzly. Good pursuit, didn't get too aggressive, just scraped over the top, allowed him to make that tackle. Coming out in gunwing trips, 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers. Looks like he is going to cover 6 here. So we'll pause it right here, just knowing that there's 3 receivers to this side and the running back, which will make the 4th receiver. In match, he has to know what his responsibility is here and then what this vert hook's responsibility is here, because it changes depending on who you're actually using. So let's see what we have to worry about this play. So if we look here, he goes and uses the vert hook, pinches and contains. Because the running back didn't go out, 3 receiver hook had the first across, and then he was able to just roam and help on that backside dig, which the quarter flat took first, second in. So good job playing the responsibility there, knowing what the match was going to be. It can get tricky though, especially in these 4 wide receiver sets. Going into gun trips, let's see what he goes in here. Cover 4, you got 4 DBs over 3 receivers. It appears he is in a cover 3 shell. We'll call that a cover 3 shell with quarter flats, and we'll see who he's using. Cover 4 palms or quarters does not change depend on who the user is. So he'll just have to know his responsibility, and will change based on the route patterns. So right here we could see, using the quarter flat, everything is matched, and what's breaking in is first across. First across is usually taken by the 3 receiver hook, but because it was a 4x1 set, quarter flat is now responsible for first across, and the 3 receiver hook is down on first under.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience. Straightforward
So
numbers you can literally
was able to get that, didn't give up too big of a gain because the deep quarter responsibility was able to help out on that backside.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges.
Here we are, cover 3 cloud. Yeah, this no zone drop responsibilities, but was just able to contain everything. Let's see if he played his responsibility. Hook curl. He did play his responsibility. I would like to see him trust the second hook curl just a tad more. Here, you see the angle, trust the hook curl, and then just come back and just sit on that other route coming from left to right. OG's back in the gun trips, and here we are in palms again, or quarters. Let's see. In a base personnel package, very interesting to have 3 linebackers out there while there's 4 receivers. Whit Weeks is a really good linebacker, but I still don't think his coverage is good enough as far as getting out there. RPO, you should know that what we see here, first person outside the tackle is usually responsible for the RPO flat action. So that's what happened there. That's why that defensive end shot out there, and he has his coaching adjustment set to the right thing. So we back in the gun trips and cover 6 again. And let's see how he plays this. Is he going to move back to the vert hook again, or he's going to stay on weeks with the 3 receiver hook? Now let's stop here for a second. We see puts this defensive end and a curl flat under the quarter flat. Let's see how this affects this read pattern here. So we'll stop it right here just quickly. Now that it's changed, it's a 2x2 set. Essentially, the vert hook and the soft squat, if properly matched, should just play man across there with the deep safety over the top and trail technique. And now it's, again, 3/2 with the 2 receivers. You got first across, quarter flat has first out, and then you just have to count to make sure you got the running back. So something did happen here. Looks like he has aggressive zones on. The back half of the defense matched, and you were able to poach that crosser coming over the middle, because the safety was going to have trail technique on that as well. So good job there. But what I want to see is why that soft squat bit down. So let's keep an eye on this guy to make sure, is he zone dropping his flats? Because if he is, this guy won't match man, which will change half of this to match and the other half to zone drops. So let's just keep a look on that moving forward, because that might have an effect later down. So after able to get a quick score, he's back in this heavy personnel. Don't mind the defensive formation. Man, good. You got everybody eyes in the backfield. Don't hate it. Filled his run grab. Wish he would have hesitated for just a second to make the running back make a decision versus telling the running back where to go. So we're back in what appears either a 3-4 tight or a 4-3 odd front to mimic 3-4. And the safeties are at 9 yards at depth. What I don't love about this is this safety is responsible for now. This tight end, if he hits the seam, and this wide receiver, if he hits the sideline. Now, if he doesn't have zone drops on, this cloud flat should get hands on this receiver and reroute him to the outside, which should give this safety time to play both in the event that he does go vertical. So at this play, let's just check to see if we have zone drops on, and we'll check that again later in the game. So if we watch, we'll rewind it, and then right here, safety is backpedaling, doesn't get hands on the receiver. Receiver gets a free release. So this tells us that his soft squats or his cloud flats are in zone drop, which might be a little important later if OG starts to pick up on it. Looks like he has his hook curls playing about 5 yards underneath, maybe 15 yards on the flat, and then his deep safeties are just bailing out to play their responsibility. It's not a bad game plan, just something to take note of, especially with the mixing of match and zone drops. If you know what you're doing, it can work out really well for you. So that's unfortunate. Played really well on that formation. The read Y flat is always difficult to prepare for, because one thing you have to know, this is really difficult to stop because you have to fly down, and then these guys usually get really good blocks on the DBs. But then on the other end, you have to worry about if they run RPO bubble Y pop, that tight end will also go vertical. So now he's responsible for this tight end and this tight end alone. The only thing I'm not a big fan of is that he is now taking himself out of the run fits with this play.
There's an Etsy seller with the perfect original pieces to help you celebrate. Celebrate being human.
He reads it correctly and then just doesn't get an animation. No, got to be frustrating, but did what he could. Just got to rely on the computer to make a play next time.
I'm so excited to introduce this new product.
Appears to be, we'll call this cover 4, just drop. Still got the safeties at 9 yards. Looks like the hooks are playing underneath. Doesn't look open, but that crosser would have been a tight window throw. Tight window throw coming across the middle, but we'll call that a good coverage sack. Now we're in cover 3, no match, just zone drop. Press gives the illusion that things are a little bit covered, but with guys running verticals, it's a good, I like the call. I like the call. Now the difference here, seam flats. This is cover 3 match. This is cover 3 match. He now put this safety, zone dropped him to this area of the field to cover the seam. He's going to move this safety over so he doesn't get beat deep. The problem is this safety has matching responsibility underneath. Let's see if if OG could take advantage. So as we could see, the seam is covered. So we'll stop it right here. Seam is covered because he's zone dropped. The flat is being taken out by the deep third and the seam flat, but this curl flat responsibility was to match underneath. Didn't match underneath. OG missed the read, threw a risky throw to the halfback that could have been picked. But Mumbo did a good job covering his responsibility. Back in this formation, shifted over. I don't hate this. I kind of like how the looks it's giving him. The cover 3 shell out of cover 4. And then just a straight inside zone. And heavy personnel was able to get really good push up front, 4th and inches. Let's see what OG comes out in. Another 2 tight end set, off balance. Matches personnel well. Hopefully he can get a push up front. Not too many RPOs going out this way, so it could be a counter. That's the only good thing about this formation. You got a counter, bounce it back this way. You got an inside zone that can bounce it out this way, and usually there's an outside zone that could bounce it out this way. The outside zone would probably be a little scary just because you don't know how this person's going to go. Whether it's an outside zone or a power read, that will be the read key. But with quick jump, he might be able to get off the ball quick enough to muddy up the read and make a play in the backfield. And that's exactly what happens. Looked like a power read play, muddied up the read, and then handed off to the running back when he should have kept with the quarterback. Moving on, we'll see. Mumbo's able to get another score in. See what OG comes out in. Likes this base personnel, the 4-3. And if you got the linebackers to do it, it's really, really effective, especially if you can generate any kind of pressure out of it. Again, with a 3 cloud, with a 3 cover, with the cover 3 looked out of cover 4, really like that. Matching personnel. Way to sniff out the screen. Eat up a blocker or two. Just allow your guys to get back there. Tray open strong. Another spread set. 4x1. And when we come out, I'll pause it here. So this is when I mean 4x1, for those that aren't familiar with it, they number receivers outside in. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and because he's on this side of the formation, we're going to count the running back as the 4th set. So when they say 4x1, this is what they mean. If it was a 3x1, this running back could be over here, and this would change it to a 3x1 set because of that receiver on the other side. But as we're looking 4x1 set, really aggressive look. The safeties are still down at 9. We'll see if the cloud flats are still zone dropped or if he changed them. This mid read appears to be zone dropped as well at 5, which is a little dangerous because anything going straight up the middle, a skinny post or just a vertical from the inside wide receiver, is a really big threat to that. And then on the other side, depending on if he pushes vertical, that could put this guy and this guy in conflict because this guy is supposed to put hands on him to reroute him to give the safety time to get back over the top. And the mid read is supposed to carry anything deep vertical to help out the 2 halves. So it worked out in his favor. It looked like he had a scissors concept going back. So it could have been a little worse if he gave it time, but I understand with the pass rush. This guy is going on a corner, will be covered by this deep half, and then that outside receiver scissors concept is running a skinny post. This guy is running a deep over. He puts him in conflict here if he gives it another second to see, does he cover him deep or does he cover the crosser? Puts the user in conflict. Decent play design, just a little too early on the read, but I understand. Never go broke taking a profit, so he took the drag underneath and then has a makeshift blocker here. Smash concept and a scissor concept and a curl flat concept all on the same side. Get really creative with the 4x1 sets. And there you go, scissor spot. Back in it, flipped it this time. Now we're back in the cover 6 coverage. What I don't love here is that he still has the three shell on. And again, this makes me nervous. Vertical attacking. This soft Scott doesn't put hands on him. So this is essentially a free release if that guy is on a streak. And then we have match to the backside. Zone drop underneath. That's her responsibility. Get out there first to the flat because the quarter flat took first in. Running back just out leveraged him. This looks like basic zone, just a zone 3 deep. It is. Wasn't able to get the seams. He used it over there. Verticals. Should have been able to hit the seam, but good user. Muddied up the read. Gave the defensive line time to get there. And here's cover 4. But if you're not familiar with it, what we're going to talk about here are zone drops. If you're ever confused about if somebody has zone drops on, you watch the outside flats. So in this play, he's going to have, I think this is a linebacker here. This linebacker is the flat. This is going to be your read to see if somebody is in zone dropping coverage. If they are not in zone dropping coverage, his reaction should be to put hands on the receiver and reroute him to give safety time to help. If he is in zone drop, his first steps will be back and shuffled eyes at the quarterback. A lot of times, especially if it's a linebacker, it is a slow shuffle and nobody will get hands on receiver. So let's see if Mumbo is in zone drops right now. And right there, we got the answer to our question. His first step is backwards. Receiver gets a free release up the seam. This is really dangerous if you keep doing it because eventually, especially in a trips formation, this can be a completion, especially in cover 3. I know your safeties are down some, but leaving this open is one missed tackle away from 7 points. OG doesn't recognize it just quite yet, but it is something to keep in mind, especially if you're not recognizing it yourself. The zone drops will never put hands on receivers. Receivers will get free releases up the field, and zone drops are just literally just getting to a spot and sitting there with eyes on the quarterback. Zone drops work. Give them an opportunity for a sack. Coverage sack, 3rd and 16. Back in the gun trips. Again, what we called this earlier, 4x1 set. 4x1 set. Running it to the short side, but we're going to motion over. And now, because of the alignment now, we're going to call this a 2x2 set. You got your 2 wide receivers here, you got your 1 wide receiver here, and you got your 1 wide receiver outside of the screen. 2x2 set, and the running back will just be neutral at this point. Why that's important? Because remember what we talked about earlier. This safety is down in the box like a linebacker, like he's almost in a cover 3, like he's in that cover 3 shell again. This cornerback here is responsible for putting hands on this receiver, but since he's zone dropped, he's getting to a spot which is probably 15 yards, and then eyes in the backfield watching for the ball. Now this gives the ability backside for the quarter coverage to play out. Quarter flat has first out, 3 receiver hook, has first and shallow. Deep, the inside quarter has first in crossing out above 10 yards. So as we can see, just go back here so we know for a fact, so we won't have to bring it up anymore. Zone dropped. Why? We see he jumps in, eyes back, doesn't get hands on him. I'm just going to dissect this side, the left side of the field first. This vert hook, if matched, is responsible for 0 man on man. This deep zone should be over the top, and it's essentially 2 man under on this side of the field, but it's not because of the zone drops. We're going to watch the right side of the field in the quarters coverage. Leaves the vert here. 3 receiver hook. Takes first underneath. The quarter should have taken first out. Excuse me, the deep zone, because the route broke outside of 10 yards, is responsible for any deep outbreaking routes. It's just going to be straight regular quarters coverage over there. Broke late and then picked off. Just happened to miss the throw. Let's see if we have any more defensive plays. But I think that might be it. Well, I appreciate you if you stayed with me that long. Thank you. If you liked it, let me know. If not, we might not do it anymore. If you have any recommendations, also let us know. I enjoy talking about the game. I'd love to get somebody else on here. They could talk about it with me, see what they saw, get other opinions, and just learn more about the game. If you learn something, awesome. If not, and you're like, dude, that's straight BS, you don't know what you're talking about, let me know. And then let me know where I can go find more information, because I'd love to learn to share with you guys, because somebody might not have known, and then why not share the knowledge. Till next time, I'm out. Have a good